morning, everyone. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the types of OS. So there are three or the different types of OS: batch OS, multi-programming OS, multitasking OS, multi-processing, and real-time OS. And real-time OS, it is further divided into two types: soft and hard real-time OS. So let's start with each one type. So when we see this batch OS, this is the first type which is evolved at the beginning. So batch OS in a sense here there are different jobs are available. So each job will be a set of programs, input data, and along with the instructions to execute those programs. So together they are put together in the form of a job. So it is a job is a combination of all these three, that is the program, the input data, and also the control instructions. So what is the main drawback of this batch OS? In a sense, it is non-interactive in nature. It means that the user cannot interact with the OS in any form. So how does it work means, so the user prepares each job in the form of punched cards, and these punched cards, it will be having holes in it. So the name itself indicates that there will be punches, and the input, the availability of the input is um, it is known only when the light is passed through that hole. If suppose a light passes through the hole, then it will be considered as 1, and if it is not passed, then it will be considered as 0. So in order to indicate the binary forms 0 and 1 at that time, in the earlier days, they have used these punched cards. So these punched cards are given as the input. So the user will be preparing those jobs in the form of punched cards, and these punched cards are grouped by the user. Here the operator, here we have mentioned an operator, right? So this operator is nothing but a person who is operating the computer, that is a system. So these jobs are prepared by the user in the form of punched cards, and depending upon the nature of each job, the operator or the user will segregate that into different batches. For example, batch 1, batch 2, likewise they will be grouping these jobs into different forms of batches, and these batches are in turn given as input to the computer for processing. So this is how this batch operating system operates. So only after the processing of this batch, that is for example this batch 1, the processing of batch 2 can happen in the OS. That is, it is given to the OS. So until then, that is after only the completion of this batch 1, batch 2 can be given to the system. So until that execution time of batch 1, the CPU, it will remain idle for a longer period of time. We know that the CPU's execution time for a good system, it should be maintained at the highest, right? But and also the time taken for the IO devices, it is definitely low when compared to the CPU execution time. So in that case, the CPU will be left idle for a longer period of time, so that um, the CPU, it will be not utilized in a well, um, to the at its highest, to its highest, we cannot utilize the CPU at its highest performance level. So this is a major drawback of this batch operating system, because the operator, that is a person who is operating this device, they have to manually insert the punched cards into the CPU for processing. So definitely it will take some time, and during that time the CPU must remain idle. So these are the pros and cons of this batch operating system, and this led to the next type of operating system, which is the multi-programming operating system. So as the name indicates, multi-programming, there are multiple programs waiting for execution in the CPU. So for example, process 1, P1, P2, P3, P4, like this n number of processes may be present for getting its execution time in the CPU. So how this multi-programming operating system works? So let's see. For example, if a process P1 is given to the CPU for execution, P1 will be executed for a particular period of time. When P1 has to do some IO operations, at that time it will leave the CPU and come out, and the next process P2 will be allocated to the CPU. Similarly, it will be done for P2, P3, and P4. So whenever a process is needed to get in out of the CPU for the purpose of IO execution, at that time only the other process can be given into the CPU. So this is a major drawback